Johnny Guitar.
Hello everyone, Graham Bennett with you once again to tell you all that you can't stop this frequency from working. On today's news. We once again have a lot of news for you to tell, but we will try to get from the oldest one to the newest one. Starting from this one. Starry Night Festival went pretty good. People enjoyed it, there was a lot of attractions of course, and people came to sell their own food. There was music of course, well, everything that needs to be on a good festival. So, if you managed to visit it in time, congratulations. On the other hand, there was another festival that we are going to talk about a bit later. So don't forget about it for me, alright? Another news is, do you remember my previous broadcast? Well, on the previous broadcast I was saying that finally the borders to Louisville are open, but don't try to get anything in there because I bet that there's nothing to get. And what happened in a few days after the broadcast? Of course, some kind of a rumor about the treasure in the middle of the city was born. Who is surprised? But people actually decided to check if there's any treasure. So there was 9 people, including me, and of course that one guy, the guy who was saying that he knows where the treasure is exactly, and he will share it if the people will follow him. Well, people followed him, and everyone ended up in the middle of the city, and exactly in the building of a TV station. And, surprise, surprise, there was no treasure. But at the same time, maybe there was. Maybe someone took it first. But nobody is really sure, because the guy who told that he is really sure where the treasure is, after understanding that there's no treasure, started saying, well, there's another place, we just gotta go to another place, and all. So there was no treasure. But there was an interesting thing. A corpse. Whose corpse? A corpse of the guy from PMC. Well, interesting thing, because a lot of people during that period was reporting PMC voices on the public frequency. No one is really sure what they were talking about, but they were out there, somewhere. And back then, we managed to find one of them. Anyways, the story ended good enough, I suppose. Nobody died. Surprisingly, we've met a group of survivors in Louisville, and, well, they weren't really happy to see us in there because they were trying to find the treasure too. But after 10 minutes of talking, we've managed to become pretty good friends, I suppose. People were joking around, talking with them, but the only unlucky person in that situation was the guy who, quote unquote, knew where the treasure is. And, well, of course he survived, but how can I even say it? Well, what can I say? Life decided to push him against the ground. Okay, no, I'm not even going to try to say it somehow in another way, just live with it. You don't want to know what happened to the guy. He's still alive. We managed to get him out of the Louisville, but maybe he doesn't want to be alive at this point. Those people from another faction were really angry about false information about the treasure. And yes, the guy paid his price. Another news is, scientists from Rosewood came up with a pretty interesting theory. They say that the mutants are affected by the weather and that they are trying to find the most warm place out there to live. That's why mutants once again enter the cities even after they get cleaned up, because they look like their original hometown, Louisville. That's why they form hordes trying to warm up. That's why they go to the forests trying to once again warm up. And that's why once again they prefer to be inside of the buildings than the outside. I'm pretty sure you've noticed that there's much less infected usually outside when there's buildings around them. Pretty interesting theory, not going to lie. But I suppose you will now have to live with it. If you are having a really cozy evening in your warm building, no, They're coming. Just joking, don't worry. Another news is the Wolfpack faction attacked Minutemen and exactly stole one of their men. Here's the deal. You know the guy named Jonah. Pretty nice guy, not going to lie. He was one of the people who were cleaning up the hives in Rosewood and Lake Ivy. But he got stolen. Stolen by who? Right, by the Wolfpack faction. After a few hours of his disappearance, there was a public announcement on the radio with Jonah's voice in it, as that was saying that Minutemen can save his life if they will pay a price. A working car, working generator, gasoline, food, water, yada yada yada. You know, the usual tax for stealing a person. And just a few hours later, the situation was solved. Jonah is safe at home and the kidnapper is dead. At the same time, we are not really sure how many people from Wolfpack faction are still alive. So we warn you, be careful around big cities and of course main roads of Knox County, such as the main road from Muldera to Rosewood and the main road from Muldera to Lake Ivy. This is the biggest roads around Knox County and usually that's the places where people get kidnapped. So look out for yourself, okay? Rosewood's population is becoming bigger with every day. This month it became bigger by 3 people. It's not much, of course, but at the same time, considering that you can count us all around Knox County by your fingers, that's a pretty big number. Second place right now is Rabbit Hash. But considering that this is not a city to live, but a giant base for a faction, they're giving a pretty good fight. So keep fighting, we believe in you. Maybe some more people will decide to live in Rabbit Hash. Another news is there was a pretty weird accident in Akron. People from the report about a mutant looking like a skeleton walking around the town. And when the skeleton noticed the, reporters, how do I even describe it? Some kind of a black worm came out of the skeleton and escaped into the nearby forest. Wow. That's something new, that's for sure. What does it mean for us all? Does it mean that the mutants are becoming incubators now? Maybe they won't even need any hives in the future. They will just become one walking hive. Who knows? But just be careful outside, alright? And prepare your weapons, especially Molotovs. Another news is there was a shootout approximately near Rosewood. A person named Aaron from Big Bear Lake got shot, and 2 people who were wearing half military clothes got killed too. What exactly happened is unknown, but this. Another news is, I suppose there's a new radio broadcast on our airwaves. Congratulations to the new station named Jamrock. I hope I'm not wrong. But anyways, this is the third radio that was created in the Knox County after the start of pandemic. The first one was mine. Well, I at least don't know if there was any before me. The second one was Liberty Front's propaganda radio, that is dead by now. And the third one is right here in front of you. So we wish the best of luck to the creator and the best of creativity as possible. Another news is there was a shootout on the festival near Lake Ivy. 3 people got shot. One of them is the owner of the festival. 2 other people are people from PMC. As the witnesses report, those people tried to rob the place, but, well, something went wrong. We pay our sincere condolences to the people who knew the owner of the festival. One of the people from PMC commented on the situation. You will pay. We know a lot of things about this county. You are stuck here with us until we deem your existence unnecessary. Stuck, you say? Well, I'm pretty sure you will be very much surprised to hear our next news segment. But now let's have a little musical break, shall we? Stay tuned, folks, we still have a lot of things for you to tell.
and wander through paradise. One more tomorrow to kiss your lips constantly and feel the pounding as your heart beats next to me. One more tomorrow, filled with love the whole day through. And then tomorrow I'd beg for one more tomorrow with you.
And we are back on there. Another news is, and the news that everyone should hear about, by the way. Do you remember that little speech that PMC guy gave to us? That we will regret fighting back to them, and we will regret even contacting them because of course they control the state, and of course we are stuck with them in here. Well, surprise, surprise. Two people joined the Knox County, and that's not military, not PMC, just two normal people. They crossed the border and entered the Knox County. Well, how the tables have turned. Well, those two people who have joined us are a person named Nikolai and Livia. They crossed the border on the south of Louisville through that bridge that comes across the Ohio River. Well, what can I say? They were pretty lucky to not die in Louisville, of course. But, well, you know what they said. The windows were closed and they were wearing gas masks as protection. But I've managed to have a little interview with them. They were pretty shy, but still gave me permission to quote them. So I will quote a few questions that I've asked them. I will make it simpler for you. Every time you hear this sound, it means that another question has started. So, without further ado, let's begin. Nice. I hope you understand why I'm interviewing you both. If not, here's the deal. You are literally the first people who came here from behind the border of Knox County in the long month. Not even military is showing up anymore, so what could you say? How did you even get here? Well, we left Wisconsin a few months ago. The highway through Illinois was blocked, so we looped around Iowa on our way to New York. From there, we headed towards Kentucky, and when winter's over, we'll probably be gone on our way to out of USA. Something specific about the states? New York was a bit hellish. While there might have been some hiding somewhere, we didn't see any survivors, just mutants. What about military? We were in QZ in Wisconsin, but otherwise a lot of abandoned checkpoints along the highways. There was one with a few military inside. They didn't stop us for papers or anything though. Did they react to you by any way? They stared at us. Nick thinks they were just survivors who stole some gear. Fair enough. Pretty dangerous to live the way you live, though. Can you tell us if you've seen mutants like we have in here? No, not at all. Every state tends to have some variation. Those giant ones with a hanging tongue, they're specifically terrifying. Have you seen smart mutants out there? The ones who can talk? Oh, you mean the beggars? Yeah, we've seen a few of them. But, well, we didn't have any problems with them. No, I mean the mutants that can talk, have a conversation, a logical one. The mutants that can well, have feelings and all. No, we never seen anything like that in the other states. Do you have those in here? Another question is, have you seen meat growing on the wall or roads? Usually it's an indicator that a hive of mutants is nearby. Yeah, we have. New York was bad. A lot of buildings were full of the stuff. Sometimes it grow off like a bridge between the buildings. Sometimes they just cover the entire blocks. Horrible picture. How did you get into the Knox County? We've come to the Knox County through the north part of Louisville. We understand it's the most infected part of the Knox County, but I suppose we didn't have a choice. We tried to get through the outskirts of the towns and try to get out, but sadly there's no other exit. So when the winter is over, we will try to get out through the same place. Well, and that was the interview. What does it mean? It means there's an exit from the Knox County. So if your soul is telling you that you need to leave, that you need to find people you care about out there, or maybe just something, by the fact, the door is opened. And to the PMC folks, well, I suppose we are not really stuck in here with you, aren't we? And here's a little fact to think about. How many of you is still left out there? Well, let's just think. As I remember from that old New Year party that happened in 2000, there was about 7 folks with guns in there. And, well, let's count. At least one guy is dead somewhere, because I don't believe that nobody of you haven't died during this time period. So, -1. One guy is found dead in Louisville. -1. 2 people got shot in a festival. -2. And some of you, I'm pretty sure, got shot on the same festival. Some of you now have wounds. So, how many of you left? 2.5 maybe. And these people are trying to control the situation, you want to tell me? Or what are you going to do? Are you going to control the road to Louisville? And I will remind you, there are at least 3 roads to Louisville. So, of course, it will work. One guy to the south, one guy to the north, and of course, the half of the guy to the another road out there. Okay, let's think about it in another way. Maybe you have reinforcement, who knows? Well, let me remind you. There's a lot of survivors in Knox County. A lot of people who are angry at you and still remember everything that you've done. Including that shootout where you killed a lot of soldiers and scientists. Yeah, we still remember. Yeah, including that shit that you done on the New Year, including various attacks, hostages situations. Once again, what I want to say is, there's a lot of people who don't like you. Even I would dare to say they hate you. And if you think that they won't take their chances against you, well, you don't know the people around here. So the picture doesn't look very nice to you, my friends. What about getting out of here? Still, doesn't really work for you. Whoever is paying to you, some rich guy or maybe a president of another country, I'm pretty sure they won't care about 2.5 mercenaries that are stuck on the other side of the world. Sadly, there's a lot of things happening in the world. Quarantine zones going to shit and much more. So if you think that anyone is going to send you a car, a helicopter, a plane, well, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are stuck here with us. Anyways, that was the important news that I wanted to tell you about. Thank you for listening and stay tuned. We will have a little musical break and then continue with our new radio segment. Sorry for repeating, but yeah, Stay tuned.
Out there's a world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night with the lights as bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl. And we won't come home until we've kissed a girl. Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture took. Dressed like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. Oh, there's no blue Monday in your Sunday. No Monday in your Sunday. No Monday in your Sunday clothes. Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Straight down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. Oh, there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Keep smiling, no man wants a little ninny. Ambrose do a turn, let me see. Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, don't forget Irene and Minnie. Just forget you ever heard a word from me. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravat and patent shoes. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky
And we are back on the air. Now let's finish our radio broadcast with a brand new segment that was surely never done before. In short, you have sent a lot of letters to our radio, and now I, Graham Bannon, will happily answer them. So, without further ado, let's begin. This letter is from the guy named Nikolai. He says, "Hey there, won't bother with a name, you already know who I am. I am laying in a car with a fever, so I decided to throw in the question. It's of grave importance. What's your preferred Land Mover model to groom that crime against remaining humankind on your face?" Well, Nikolai, if I didn't know you in person, I would be very insulted by this question, but don't worry about it. As for the mustache, I'm sorry to say, but sadly I don't use a Land Mover to take care of them. I use little scissors, a comb, a razor to keep the shape of mustache, and of course a chainsaw. Talking about crimes against humanity, I understand that wearing sunglasses is your style and all, but wearing sunglasses even during the night, well, that's something special. Either you're hiding giant bags under your eyes because of the lack of the sleep, or you like your style so much that you are ready to be blind for it during the night. Both things are pretty respectable, not gonna lie. Anyways, take care of yourself, Nick, and good luck with that little scrap business. Well, let's see. Another letter is from Madeline. Hey, hey Graham, haven't seen you in a bit. Been interested in this Q&A you opened, so I decided to write a question and a few other things. There's a little stick guy smiling at the corner of the list, by the way. I finally managed to settle down once again, after losing my pretty little place in Ivy. Man, I miss my old house. But this new one comes with a little plus. It's an apartment set over a bunch of businesses, as the house is not the only nice things. I plan on setting up a little shop in one of these aforementioned businesses. The name is still up for debate, but for now, it's Adeline Jack of all trades, cause basically I'm gonna be doing 5 different things in there. But mainly I want to sell veggies, don't want a Watermageddon 2.0, but also wood products, all handmade. My question here is, do you have any tips and recommendations for me? They're mainly gonna be what I've seen around that I started to call box stores. Because I'm not the type to sort around behind the counter, waiting for people to come by. Other ideas I had was making a building service, from a fence to a whole house. People call and I build things they want. I am still seeing how to implement both things. You got any ideas? Now for a fun fact about slugs. Did you know that slugs are right-handed? I read that as a child, never knew what the hell it means or how it works, but apparently they are. Sitting in the dark corner of new apartment, sending good luck and great creative wisdom, Adeline. Well, Adeline, thank you very much for your letter. I'm very happy to hear that you've managed to settle in your new home. Hope the eggs that I gave you helped you a bit. As for the business, well, I suppose I will have to say a pretty obvious thing, but you will have to start 2 businesses at the same time, which surprisingly won't be that hard. About selling business, I recommend you to put your boxes around the most populated cities of Knox County, such as Rosewood and Rabbit Hash, and collect whatever you will get once a week or 2. About building business, well, once again, I recommend you to put your advertisement around the most populated cities of Knox County. I also recommend you to talk about it on a public frequency, and also, well, we can manage to make you an advertisement on our radio. So don't worry, contact us and I will try to help you out as much as possible. By the way, I recommend you to contact the Nikolai from the previous letter. Seriously, you could work as a team. You built a giant house, he builds a giant iron fence. Works pretty well together, don't you think? Anyways, thank you for your letter. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there, alright? Alright. Well, another letter is from the guy named Mascherata. He says, "Yo, it's ya boy Mascherata. Mustard on sandwiches, yes or no? That's my question. Watch yourself out there. Hopefully I don't see any of y'all." Well, that's a pretty weird statement. But after all, yes. Mustard on sandwiches, yes. Especially when it's so good that it even burns your nostrils. Well, that was a short question. Another one. This letter is from the person named Acid. They ask, When it comes to fighting mutants, what's your weapon of choice? And if you could have any weapon not in your arsenal, what would you pick? Well, that's a pretty interesting question, not gonna lie. The answer is pretty simple though. An axe. My favorite weapon is an axe. I've been using it for... Jesus Christ, 2 years already. Well, anyways, it is useful and effective. You can chop up mutants, chop up trees, and of course open cans of food if you're really desperate. Well, yeah, and if I could choose another weapon... Maybe a chainsaw. Or maybe a minigun. Or even better, maybe a gloves that Freddy Krueger was wearing. That would be pretty nice. Thank you for your letter. Let's get to another one. This one is from Sydney. Hey! Dear Graham, I'm considered starting a community garden here in Rosewood. I would like to get as many residents involved as possible, but there is one problem. I have no idea how to go about it. I know a little bit about gardening from when I lived in New York, but growing pots of mint outside your home is much different than building an actual garden for anyone to use. Do you have any advice on the matter? Perhaps on location or general tips and tricks? Thank you for your time. Sincerely and with love, Sydney Sawyers. P.S. I would love to grow strawberries, daisies, and daffodils. Would be wonderful too. Well, Sydney, thank you very much for your letter. I really appreciate it. As for an advice, I'm not a professional gardener, sadly, but first of all, I recommend you to use that open field behind the church in Rosewood. It has a lot of space to work with. About strawberries, well, not going to lie, I haven't seen strawberries in the years. But maybe you can find some seeds in the abandoned stores, or maybe trade with people from Minuteman Group, or just people from the open air. The choice is yours. About flowers... Well, not going to lie, it will be much easier. You can find a lot of flowers in the nearby cities. Because from my personal experience, I had to grab flowers from Lake Ivy and get them to Rosewood for personal use, of course. Well, maybe you will find flowers in nearby town. Who knows? Well, anyways, I hope I've helped you at least just a bit. If anything, I'm always out there, happy to help out with the garden. Так, another question Jonah, is... Hey! I hope you are doing alright by now. Anyways, hey Graham, Jonah here from the Minutemen. Hello. My question to you is, if you had the power to get rid of the whole mess in the county and the world, but forget everyone you've made friendships and memories with, would you? I've been thinking about it in the past few days and it won't leave my head. Currently healing of a nasty leg and shoulder fracture. Stay safe. Here's a little fact for you to think about. We've been in the isolation for, 2.5, 3 years? And still we managed to keep going. 3 years of isolation. In the infected area with mutants, with bandits and aggressive military folks. And still, we celebrate holidays. Every time. We keep making businesses. We have a working economy. And the most important fact, we've managed in the 3 years of isolation to keep our kindness and ability to give a hand to a person in need. So, I'm not even going to lie, we are doing pretty good around here. Of course, we have problems from time to time. Aggressive people with guns, mutants, smart mutants that are trying to play with our psychology, and much, much more. And I'm pretty sure we still have a lot of problems in the future. But let me tell you, surprisingly, we are doing very good. And I'm very happy to see that the people who were born in Knox County, or just like me, got stuck in here and couldn't leave, well, they're taking a good care of a state that we all can call our home. So let's keep it up. And for the people who helped Knox County to keep its normality as much as possible by taking care of the cities, sharing their resources, or just being good people, thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure history won't forget you. I need to go for a president with such speeches. Anyway, thank you very much for your letter, Jonah. I really appreciate it, and take care of yourself and your health. It's really important. Well, now the segment is over. A little tip before we go on a break. Vote for me for a president. I'm pretty sure I won't make anything worse than it is right now. Thank you all for listening. And remember, you can't stop us from working.
It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved, a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? I have lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important, but I don't care. Because even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I shall be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Mister, do you mind? I came in late, right after It Only Takes a Moment, but his arms felt sure and strong. Takes a
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved, a whole life long.
And that is all that love's about.